How do you balance between generating income from options versus long-term investing? Just money that's just invested that's just not doing anything except sitting there.
Oh no, I don't. I purposely don't have too much cash just sitting on the sidelines. I just basically have my some cash to cover my recurring bills. The rest of the capital, I have to send it to work. I work for it. It's got to work for me. So but in terms of the options, I do take a certain percentage of the premiums I receive and build out my long-term positions every week.
Okay, long-term position. That's what I mean, I guess, in terms of stock, not cash. I mean stock that you actually have that's just growing. How did that do last year, and what is your perspective on that in terms of your favorite long-term investments outside of options?
Some of my favorite long-term investments are Microsoft, the S&P, Bitcoin, and NVIDIA. So I've got the mindset of Buffett. The longer I hold these tickers, the safer they are.
Okay. Okay. So given that the market went down 400 points today, do you have a different perspective on, your long-term investments? Is there kind of a different move you're making over there?
Yeah, if certain tickers hit certain prices, I will jump in heavy.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Well, I feel like today is a good day. I think that, well, it's a good day in terms of long-term investing because good quality companies got hit with the Trump announcement. But it could be a bad day long-term for the economy just uh, when you're messing with Fed independence, that's one of the reasons U.S. market valuations are so high is people can always they always know like what's the difference in the U.S. and China. China, they tell the Fed what to do. Their version of the Fed. The U.S. has always had independence, which is why a lot of people would invest here over China. But if you're acting just like China, then I think a lot of people would say, well, why not just put my money over there? What do you think? Have you heard much about the stuff with BRICS and all that stuff in terms of that challenging, um, you know, the long-term U.S. economic sovereignty and all that stuff, and the devaluation of the dollar? Have you seen much on that?
Yeah, I keep up with financial news every day, so there's always some headlines regarding BRICS. I first heard of BRICS maybe about 15 years ago, or maybe 17 years ago. So um, I'm gonna do whatever I believe is best for my portfolio, and that includes some hedging.
Oh, okay. Well, let me ask you this. So let's talk about the journey and by the way, Errol's going to be we're doing the ABC Digital soon with the digital version of the All Black National Convention. Errol's going to be one of the speakers. He also teaches an options class in the Black Business School, and I'll share links with that. If you want me to text you the link, text the word morning to the number 87948, and I'll send you the link to both of those things. So let's talk about like so let's say someone's watching and they're saying, wow, this is really great. I love this. I like the idea of being locked in and free to do what you want to do and generating income, having these people work for you. What's like that first step that a person can take? Like, let's say that they're just starting at the very beginning and their capital base is relatively small, but they want to aspire to get to where you are. Where were you at that point, and what's the approach that might work for someone like that?
Master the basics first. So before we try to do too much and get too cute, too fancy, master the basics. So master the two basic selling strategies. Learn from other people in your network, people that are doing this from a high level. If you want to be an expert, consult with experts. So first step is to master the two basic selling strategies. As you build your capital base, as you are more comfortable, maybe you don't jump in with 10 contracts. Maybe you start off with one or two. Learn the platform, learn the theory, learn the mathematics and psychology, and then scale up later on.